Hello, good evening and welcome to Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, coming to you live from our studio here at Adesanwe Kanda in Accra. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey. Coming up this evening, in a crucial step towards party unity, the new patriotic party has signed a peace pact with all 5 presidential aspirants ahead of the January 31 primaries. Tonight, we interrogate this move and ask the critical question, will the candidates truly live up to the spirit of the pact? Details in a moment.
As we are reminded, house divided against itself cannot stand. In such a house is certainly not attractive to the electorate. Ghanaians are watching not only what we say, but also how we behave and support us. I believe I'm qualified to say that we have seen it all before. Do not be discouraged by the excesses. The thirst for power and the unity required to win power.
And that's the voice of former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Who will be bringing you details of today's engagements with the flag-bearer aspirants of the new Patriotic Party in a jiffy. Also coming up, the Court of Appeal has ordered the Inspector General of Police to promote 40 chief inspectors who were excluded from an earlier amnesty promotion. We'll tell you why. And details of all of these stories and more coming up within the next 1 hour, including business and sports at the tail end of the program. Before that, though, let's bring you the news summaries.
Hello, Martin. Good evening, wherever you're listening from. This is the news summary right here on Hot Edition. First, in the summaries, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Christian Tete Yohonu, has announced that at least 70 police personnel will be deployed at each polling station for the upcoming new Patriotic Party flag-bearer race. Speaking during a peace pact meeting at Alita Hotel in Accra on Thursday, January 22, 2026, the IGP assured the NPP of a violence-free election. Still on the new Patriotic Party, NPP has declared its total readiness for the high-stakes presidential primaries scheduled for Saturday, January 31, 2026. The party has finalized all logistics to ensure a transparent process as it seeks to elect a flag-bearer for the upcoming general elections. Speaking to the Ghana News Agency on Tuesday, the chairperson of the new Patriotic Party Presidential Elections Committee, Mr. Joseph Osai Owusu, confirmed that a total of 211,849 delegates are eligible to cast their ballots. Meanwhile, the National Identification Authority, NIA, has announced price increments for some of its services. In a post on its official Facebook page on Wednesday, January 22, the authority explained that the fee adjustment is aimed at maintaining and improving the quality of its service delivery. Now, President John Dramani Mahama has tutored Ghana's democracy at the 2026 World Economic Forum. He says that in his first year of being back into office, Ghana has shown that democracy works and that change is possible when leadership is focused and accountable to the people. After several days of power interruptions in Sunyani and neighboring communities, the Northern Electricity Development Distribution Company, NEDCO, has successfully resolved the fault at its substation in Sunyani and restored power supply. The incident occurred on Tuesday evening when an issue was detected in Transformer 2, a crucial unit with a capacity of 33 megavolt ampere located in the Sunyani switchyard. This fault resulted in widespread outages, significantly affecting local businesses that depend on uninterrupted electricity. Now, the High Court in Accra has dismissed a defamation suit filed by the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Cocoa Board, Dr. Ransford Anete Abe, against the Bono Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Kwame Bafo, popularly known as Abronya DC. The suit, which was filed on August 26, 2025, was struck out on Monday, January 19, 2026, after the court upheld a preliminary legal objection challenging the procedure used to commence the action. In delivering the ruling, Justice Halima El Alawa Abdul Basit held that both the writ of summons and statement of claim were procedurally defective, making the entire suit incompetent before the court, and according to the judge, defamation is a personal action directed at an individual whose reputation is alleged to have been harmed and must therefore be pursued strictly in the individual's name and capacity. And that'll be all for the summaries. Over to you, Martin.
Thank you very much, Nura Mohammed, letting us know what's happening around the world, including the major stories we have for you. And we're starting from the political front and developments therein, where party stalwarts of the New Patriotic Party, including former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, made an appearance as 5 presidential aspirants of the party, today signed a peace pact with a pledge to uphold the collective interest of the party and support the eventual winner of the presidential primary. They are a former Member of Parliament for Asin Central Ken Ohini Ejapon, former Minister for Food and Agriculture and Member of Parliament for Abetifi Dr. Brian Echampong, a former Vice President and the 2024 presidential candidate Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, a former Minister of Education and MP for Bosumtwi Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, and a former General Secretary of the NPP, Kwabena Ejapong. So these are the 5 individuals seeking the mandate to lead the New Patriotic Party. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook and on YouTube, you can see the videos of when these individuals turned up at the Alisa Hotel earlier today. And more importantly, the fact that they brought the Peace Council, the membership of the Peace Council were there. The Ghana Police Service officials were also there. The IGP actually was there as well. And all in all, they sought to pledge their support to ensure that the primary, which is on the 31st of January 2026, goes as planned with no eventualities or unfortunate happenings. Well, these individuals, the 5 of them, were there and they signed that peace pact. Now, the signing of the peace pact is part of the Presidential Elections Committee's effort to ensure a peaceful and harmonious primary process, a flag bearer election slated for Saturday, the 31st of January 2026. First, let's hear from the former President Nana Akufo-Addo, who has urged all the flag bearer aspirants of the NPP to prioritize unity over the election on the 31st of January.
You are overseeing a process involving the largest number of delegates in the history of our party. That achievement speaks to the growth, depth, and democratic maturity of the New Patriotic Party. We're gratified by the presence of the Inspector General of Police and his senior officers at this ceremony, and by the undertakings he has given us today. They are reassuring signals that the proceedings of 31st January 2026 will be conducted in peace and security. IGP will count on you and your men and women to do a good job. Ladies and gentlemen, our party did not begin today, even though a handful of us were privileged enough to be around in its early days. It did not begin yesterday. Its roots go back to 1947, with the formation of the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC, from which the Dankwa Dombo Busia tradition proudly draws its lineage. At that founding moment, a clear and principled decision was taken. Leadership would be determined by the ballot, not by force, intimidation, or intrigue. George Alfred Park Grant was unanimously elected president and chairman. J.P. Dankwa and R.S. Blay became vice president. R.A. Awono Williams served as treasurer. The other members of that inaugural executive committee were Edward Akufo-Addo, Emmanuel Obeche-Bilamche, J.W. de Graaf Johnson, John Sybil, and Kwabena Kese. They were men of strong views and strong personalities, but they were united by discipline, mutual respect, patriotism, and an unshakable belief in orderly democratic process. From that beginning emerged a lesson that still guides us today. While the ballot must decide who becomes what, the true test of our internal democracy lies in the conduct of winners and losers alike, before, during, and after the contest. That lesson was reaffirmed in 1992 after the first presidential primaries of the New Patriotic Party. Once the party chose Professor Albert Edu-Boahene as our flag bearer, all the other aspirants, including Dr. Kofi Jani-Selby, Mr. John Agyekum Kufuor, and Dr. Kwame Safo-Edu, closed ranks and supported him. I was campaign manager of the flag bearer at the time, and I saw firsthand what unity meant, how discipline, sacrifice, and collective purpose strengthened the party, even under the most difficult conditions of the time. That spirit must guide us still. Fellow patriots, a party that cannot manage victory with humility or defeat with dignity cannot expect to win the confidence of the Ghanaian people. As we are reminded, a house divided against itself cannot stand. In such a house is certainly not attractive to the electorate. Ghanaians are watching not only what we say, but also how we behave. The campaign has generated some heat among aspirants and supporters. I believe I'm qualified to say that we have seen it all before. Do not be discouraged by the excesses. The thirst for power and the unity required to win power must combine to motivate us to choose fraternity over factionalism once the primaries are over. Permit me another personal reflection. In 1998, I contested the presidential primaries and came second to John Agyekum Kufuor, subsequently the second president of the Fourth Republic. When the contest ended, I did not hesitate. I became his chief campaigner. That decision was not about convenience. It was about conviction. The unity we demonstrated then helped deliver the first historic presidential victory of the NPP in 2000. And when years later, it became my turn, beginning in 2008, I received the same level of loyalty and support from those who had once competed against me. That tradition of fraternity carried us through difficult moments and enabled us to win and serve God. This is the inheritance we must protect. We should never forget that the ideology of the New Patriotic Party remains deeply attractive to the majority of Ghanaians. Our commitment to individual liberty and the respect for human rights, private enterprise, the rule of law, human development in a society of shared prosperity resonates across this country.
And that's the voice of former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo there when the party leadership met with the 5 aspirants who are seeking to lead the party into next year's, into this month's primary election, where one of them will be the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. Now let's go to the phone lines and engage a leading member of the party and a founding member of the New Patriotic Party as well, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo. Doc, good evening and thank you for joining us on 3FM.
Good evening.
The signing of the Peace Pact, many say, is a crucial step in ensuring that the party remains united ahead of the major election, a few years to come, but at least ahead of the primary later this month. What do you make of this decision to sign a peace pact? It's not like there are hostilities in the party, is there?
It is unfortunate that few people are trying to railroad this great party into total destruction. The NPP prioritizing the presidential elections over the internal processes, skipping key steps like electing national, regional, constituency, and polling station executives is a flawed approach.
We seem to have lost the connection to Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo there. He is a leading member of the New Patriotic Party, in fact, a founding member of the party. And I was actually just walking us through what he makes of today's major activity, which was the signing of a peace pact between the 5 aspirants who are seeking to be flag bearers or the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. And he actually, in his early submission, has downplayed today's entire exercise, saying that it looks as though just a select few who have decided to railroad, and those are his words, to railroad the party which has won power in time past. So Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo fortunately has joined us. Doc, you were making a submission.
Yeah. I think my second point is the so-called so-called top-bottom approach clearly undermines the party's democracy and may lead to the discontent among party members. A very sad situation. Fundamental issues within the party before the 2024 elections and post-elections haven't been addressed. This pact is a distraction from these problems. The entire process appears rushed and will surely compromise the integrity of the upcoming election on 31st January. Mark my words.
Will you be there?
I will say that I foresee the rush electoral building collapsing because of the weak foundation, leadership, not following due process. This party has been destroyed by a few people. And we have elders in the party, and I think it is time they wake up now. Thank you.
Doc, what do you make of the argument, and that is the argument that the current leadership is making, that if we do elect a leader, then based on his leadership, we can whip everybody in line and put the structures in place so we can then have our national district, constituency level elections, etc. So we have the leader who can now help us put all these proper structures in place. You disagree with that argument?
I disagree entirely. First and foremost, that has not been the democratic process that the party had followed throughout the years. We always start with the grassroots, make sure the grassroots are properly handled. We allow them to be their own leaders. It builds up to the constituency level. And for the constituency level, it comes to the regional level, national level, and then we go in for the leader of the party. This has been the process since the time of B.J. Darucha. And I believe strongly that is the right way to build this party. What is happening now is a bunch of greedy people at the top who will not like the due process to be followed, because they know if that is done, they will definitely be kicked out of power. That is what it is.
Right. And you foresee things not going according to plan on the 31st of January?
I have said it, mark my words. They might come out with an election, but that will be destructive to the main structures of the party.
The former president, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, himself was there, and the current leadership of the party as well, General Secretary, National Chairman, acting, etc. All these people, they invited the IGP, the National Peace Council. So it looks as though these critical players or critical stakeholders all seem to buy into the idea of the top-bottom approach, which you disagree with.
Why didn't they invite people like Kwame Tianim, the real backbones of the party? People like Frepon Boating, people like Alpha Kennedy. These are the people who will tell them exactly what it is. These are the people who are not in the party for financial gain. I can say that practically. They are there to help the ordinary people. And until these people are put in place, this party definitely has no future.
Right, and two final questions before you take leave of us. The former president, that is Nana Akufo-Addo, in his speech called for unity and used himself as an example, having lost, in his attempt to be flag bearer to John Ajekum Kufuor and eventually becoming flag bearer and losing the national elections, eventually becoming president. So he's laying, some sort of a blueprint of how the current crop of aspirants can learn from history. I'm sure you heard bits and pieces of his submission. What are your thoughts generally on it?
Firstly, it's unfortunate that my good friend Anand has still not realized that the abysmal performance of the party in 2024 happened under his leadership, and the blame must be put on him square. That is the first thing you should notice. And his usual tricks, he has come to speak the Queen's English. That is not what the party needs to do.
Right. And finally, will you be there for the 31st January election to elect a flag bearer? And who among the five would you throw your weight behind?
I personally will not be there because I don't believe in the whole process. The process should have started from the grassroots. Grassroots are our battle. And if we fail to listen to the grassroots, then we don't have a political party. Among the five, I don't see any of them who has the true interest of the ordinary person in Ghana. And as such, I won't back any of them.
All right, Doc, thank you. And it's always a pleasure hearing your thoughts and opinions on some of these issues. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
You are welcome.
And you heard Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, who is a founding member of the New Patriotic Party there, giving his general thoughts on today's activity where the leadership of the New Patriotic Party brought all five aspirants together to sign a peace pact, which is to ensure that when the day comes or in the build-up to the 31st January election, there will be no untoward activities or behaviors that will mar the beauty or the democratic ideals of the New Patriotic Party. But more importantly, he believes, that's Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, he believes that the approach being used by the current crop of leaders of the party is not right. He thought it would have been best to stay with the age-old plan or strategy which has worked for the party in time past, which is the bottom-up approach. But the current leadership is using the reverse, and he totally disagrees with them. And on the question of who he would endorse, he says none of the 5 aspirants have proven that they have the interest of the ordinary Ghanaian at heart. So he is not endorsing any of them. Those are quite strong words coming from such a respected stalwart of the party. So we'll see what the party says or how the next few days play out. But a number of other people who were there, including the minority leader Alexander Peñomakin, have also been speaking or addressing the delegates or the people who are gathered at the event. Now, Alexander Peñomakin, the minority leader, attributed the New Patriotic Party's weakened performance in the 2024 election to deep-seated internal divisions that discouraged some respected party members from voting, including Professor Frimpong Boateng.
Management Board, members of the Peace Council, presidential aspirants, Council of Elders, national officers, colleague leaders in Parliament, and members of the Minority Caucus, patriots, and members of the media. Let me start off by saying that opposition is painful and lonely. We know this. Good friends don't pick up calls. They ignore us and they find new friends. We are living it. We feel it every day. And surely, none of us wants to remain there. We want power to serve, to transform lives, and to move Ghana forward. But power does not come through division. Power comes through discipline. Power comes through unity. Power comes through sacrifice. Let us therefore rise above anger. Let us rise above insults. Let us rise above short-term emotions for long-term victory. Let us protect the party that has given us voice, purpose, and hope. And when the contest is over, let us close ranks, lock arms, and march forward together, stronger, wiser, and united towards victory 2028. Our future depends on it. Our party depends on it. And Ghana is counting on us. Acting Chair, colleagues here gathered. Political competition is a necessary and healthy feature of every democracy. However, it is how that competition is managed, particularly in moments of heightened ambition, strong emotion, that defines the maturity of a political party and ultimately the stability of the nation. Internal party elections are not merely contests among individuals. They are tests of institutional strength, discipline, and commitment to shared values. The choice to focus on peace at this stage is therefore both timely and commendable. Peace does not happen by accident. It is the product of deliberate leadership, clear rules, mutual respect, and a collective decision to place the long-term interests of the party and the country above short-term personal gain. Ghana's democracy has been sustained over the years because political actors across party lines have repeatedly demonstrated restraint in movements that could easily have descended into conflicts. This reputation has not come cheaply. It must not be taken for granted.
And that is Alexander Peñomakin, the minority leader, and he also was talking at the event today by the leadership of the MPP to ensure that out of the 5, they all sign a peace pact to tell their members and they themselves that they are going to abide by the rules that govern politics in the country and by the dictates of the constitution of the New Patriotic Party. Professor Edu Jemfi is Senior Lecturer at the Political Science Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi. Prof, a very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us on 3FM.
Good evening, my brother.
What do you make of the decision of the party to bring the 5 aspirants to sign a peace pact? I mean, for observers from outside, they do not see any form of acrimony that needs the signing of a peace pact. What do you make of it?
At least for the sake of political optics, there is a need for them to have a clear-cut peace agenda to ensure that in the first instance, the internal electoral process they will be held with no challenges. And when it is properly done, it would produce the kind of results that may give them the opportunity to forge ahead going forward into 2028. I think in the first instance, it would make good for the optics. And in the second instance, it may give them the opportunity to think of that future which requires unity. I dare say that even after this peace pact and potentially a successful electoral process the end of this month, they would still be required to do some heavy lifting to ensure that the real peace comes to the MPP.
What would your assessment of the New Patriotic be in opposition? They've been in opposition for a year and a few months. How would you generally assess them? We'll come to the politics of things, but as an opposition party, what's your assessment?
We've seen the MP ticketing on issues that border on some arrests that have been happening in recent past concerning party access, who have some challenges with the government. So you can tell that they are active. Again, in Parliament, they are also playing role, even though we know that we have had a kind of majoritarian type of democracy in the sense that you can have the minority have something to say, but what they have to say would only inure to the benefit of the state if the majority decides to work with it. Among other things, they do not only play a role just in debate, but also in their oversight responsibility, they've been able to serve on committees. I think there are very few members of the MPP now in Parliament are doing very well, except that they have not contributed immensely to their own internal peace and harmony. Because from time to time, we have seen these groups within the party in Parliament come out to support candidate A or B. And that in itself has the tendency of proclivity to divide their ranks. And it does not, if you like, suffice. It does not allow for the party to gel and to build capacity even from within Parliament. And having said that, I think that we have very wonderful individuals in there who are committed to the party and would wish that the party is able to move forward. So in terms of parliamentary processes, parliamentary rule and activities, the party in opposition is not doing too bad. I think it is doing well. But except for the unity question, which I think it could have done better to allow peace to prevail by virtue of how they conduct themselves within the internal party's arrangement. Beyond that scope, I think the MPP itself has a challenge. It has a challenge because it is divided. It has a challenge because the party hijackers continue to want to persist within the scheme of things. It has a challenge because they have thrown away certain reasonable and useful, if you like, logic that holds the party together. For example, the rule of getting the other side also, the rule of catharsis instead of being, if you like, in a catatonic state as they find themselves. If you allow the other party to have a view to share, then you can deliberate and all that. To allow for, so the next level is having the spirit to allow for proper internal cohesion
proper internal competition, as we are about to see, how some people have been totally hindered, have been forced to kowtow to the dictates of those who have used several strategies and machinations to drive the course of the party to, if you like, torpedo or crush the interests of individual actors who have a dissenting view from time to time. So I think the party itself must begin to rethink itself in opposition, that it needs to be united, and in that unity it must allow for opinions that could be dissenting opinions to stand, and to allow for such dissent to allow them to build on a united front, to debate, to contest, and to put across alternative views that will be useful for the governance of this country. I think all in all, the party is not doing well. The party is almost in a symbolic state. And for it to have a repair, I think that the slate must be clean. And I think that is the only way the party can see true unity as I envisage.
And finally, we have 9 days to the primary. The party leadership and former president have brought the aspirants together to sign a peace pact. They have all, exhibited their commitment to ensuring that nothing untoward happens. What from the look of things should happen between now and January 31? What is your expectation ahead of that day?
I'm expecting that justice will prevail within the party, fairness will prevail within the party. I'm hoping that all the contestants would have the opportunity to at least feel within their heart that there will be free and fair contest. It is not just a mere signing of peace pact or deal. It should not only be in letters, it should be in practice. When all is said and done, it should be said that votes were cast, they were counted, it represented a true reflection of what the Electoral College of the MPP wanted. Any disputation, any brouhaha, any conflictual positions that may arise thereby would further anchor the argument that the party is not united. And it is because some people wanted to do the party in for the sake of personal aggrandizement.
Okay. Prof, thank you so much for making time to speak with us this evening.
You're welcome about that.
Right, and that is Professor Asiedu-Dartey, a senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the KNUST, and someone who has been very, very generous with his thoughts on political development in the country. Thank you once again. This is still 3FM 92.7. Now, we're going to security-related matters because ahead of the NPP's primary, the IGP has been speaking. We'll do a story about the Ghana Police Service where some 40 officers have been to court and an order has been given to the IGP. But the IGP was also at the NPP's gathering, and he advised against the use of macho men. So he has cautioned against the use of private security during the NPP primary, and according to him, some individuals are planning to deploy macho men, warning that the police are more macho than the macho men they intend to deploy. Let's listen to the IGP.
Caution is that will not entertain any parasecurity at the police station. We have heard a lot, social media and others. And sometimes some of the leaders of the party have forwarded some voices to me to let me know that some group of individuals are planning to deploy macho men. Please, we are cautioning that the police are more macho than the macho men you deploy. And that when it comes to the stage, that these macho men will not take advice from the caution that is given them. And they come to the police station and then we arrest them. I'm pleading. Nobody should call me. The word is that police is ready. And so we are giving you all the assurance that we'll do our work peacefully and then we'll contribute heavily to make sure that at the end of the day, the one you want to be the presidential candidate who you want to let the person stand for the MPP party will come out victoriously under a peaceful security arrangement.
And that is the IGP there in the person of Christian Tete Yohonu. We're staying on security-related matters because the Court of Appeal has ordered the Inspector General of Police to take immediate steps to promote 40 police officers, in fact, 40 police chief inspectors who were excluded from a promotion exercise while others were promoted to their appropriate ranks during a special amnesty exercise that considered all policemen who had upgraded their educational levels with a first degree while still in service between 2008 and 2020. A three-member panel of the court sitting in Kumasi upheld an appeal filed by the affected police chief inspectors led by Chief Inspector Christopher Okpata. The appeal challenged an earlier decision of the Kumasi High Court, which had dismissed their suit and ruled that a chief inspector was not entitled to automatic promotion merely by attaining higher academic qualification. In a unanimous decision delivered on Wednesday, the 21st of January 2026, the Court of Appeal held that the exclusion of the officers from the promotion exercise while others were promoted amounted to an act of injustice against them. In 2023, the 40 chief inspectors of the Ghana Police Service sued the Inspector General of Police, the Police Management Board, and the Attorney General over what they describe as the unjustified refusal of the service to promote them. Let's go to the phone lines now and speak to Anne Agbechiasa, who is the lead counsel for Annie Agbechiasa, who is the lead counsel for the appellants, and she's joined us on phone. Madam, a very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us on 3FM.
Good evening.
How did this case come about? I mean, from what we are being told, they have been in court and then the court ruled against them. Then there is an appeal which has gone in their favor. But through it all, what has this process taught you and how have the officers been taking the justice system in general?
Okay, very well. Good evening to your cherished listeners. The name again is Annie Agbechiasa. You tried your best. But yeah, so our clients who are the 40 police officers, we instituted the action at the High Court, claiming the relief stated in the writ thereon, which include the promotion of the police officers and also an order directed at the Ghana Police Service and the IGP to pay them all the benefits that are due them. But at the High Court, as you rightly said, the matter was held in favor of the police service and the IGP. However, our clients who were aggrieved by the decision pursued the matter at the Court of Appeal, and today, as you rightly said, justice was served in their favor. So the court rightly stated that the act of the IGP and the police service was not just. And so in order for justice to prevail, the court said that those police officers be promoted and also for all their benefits that are due them to be paid to them accordingly. So that was the decision of the court today. And so we are waiting for the full judgment to be able to appraise whatever happened at the Court of Appeal.
So is it that there was a system or there is a system within the Ghana Police Service where if you're a serving officer and you upgrade and probably get like a degree or a master's, you should automatically be upgraded or promoted, and these officers did not benefit or did not get this benefit? Is that what happened before they decided to go to court?
Yeah, so there is a system actually and which includes a number of things that will qualify a police officer to be promoted. And however, the police service actually set aside this regulation and applied a special exercise, which is the amnesty. By this special exercise, they were not going strictly by the laid down rules that are stated in the regulations. However, this is a special exercise which they instituted, which they called on all applicants to submit their degree certificates. And so after they submitted their certificates, some were promoted and the others, who are clients in this case, were only congratulated. And so this was what caused for the action to be instituted at the High Court.
So, effective when would this promotion of your clients take effect, and what other benefits do they get? You said that it's going to be with all their benefits. What are some of these benefits they are expected to gain?
And so, these benefits include money and also promotion to the next rank.
Right, and is it with immediate effect?
It's to take effect within the next 6 months. Okay. So the cost order.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. We would have to leave it here for now. Thank you for making time to explain and walk us through this process. Thank you so much.
Very well. I'm grateful.
All right. So clearly some 40 police officers are going to be very happy in the next few months because their appeal has been upheld, and you just heard their counsel, Annie Agbechiasa, walking us through how all of this happened and the benefits that are due them would also be given them in the coming days. So we will definitely update you on whatever happens, and then if any new issues do come up, we would let the rest of the public know about it. This is still 3FM 92.7. In a moment, we'll be going to business and then sports. But medical law expert Christian Mamhesi is pushing for stiffer regulation and roadmap for the implementation of a national safeguarding humanitarian law in surrogacy transaction. According to him, too many young, innocent girls are falling victim due to their inability to enter into proper contracts with the would-be couples. There is more in this report. You're still listening to 3FM 92.7. You're live around the world on 3news.com, and we'll bring you that story shortly while we prepare for the latest in the world of business. But we do know that this issue of surrogacy has become quite topical in the last few days, and become quite interesting that we need legal processes to ensure that individuals who may be at the heart of it are protected and given the necessary assistance as and when it is required. And while we do well to see if we can bring you that story, let's see if we can bring in the sports team to now let us know what's happening in the world of sports. This is 3FM 92.7. You're listening to Hot Edition.
Ifa Bamfo. We start off from the camp of former Black Stars captain Andre Ayew, who has expressed his admiration for former Ghana international Martin Asiedu-Dartey. The pair are working closely together at Dutch side NAC Breda after Ayew joined the club earlier in January. Asiedu-Dartey works as the strikers coach at the club.
He was here. Of course, maybe I can say it's because of me, because he watched also my video where I played for NAC and the respect that they have for me. And he also thought, yeah, it's a good club. I played here, so they know some of the Ghanaians. So I did not.
It's a great opportunity. I think what he has done for this club and what he has done in his career in the national team is top. And for me, when I was growing up as a young boy and I was in the youth in Marseille, etc., you know, he and Asamoah Gyan were the strikers in the national team, and he was scoring so much, so they were part of the people who we looked up to. So after I got to know him, see how he plays, see how he trains, and for me today to be here with him in a club that he knows inside out, for me is only beneficial to have a big brother here, because he can guide me, make me understand how the city thinks, how the fans think, how, you know, how things go around here, for me to adapt very, very quickly. So for me, it's all beneficial, and I'm very, very lucky to.
And so that was Andre Ayew speaking about Martin Asiedu-Dartey. Still on NAC Breda, because former Ghana international Martin Asiedu-Dartey has shed light on the role he played in the club's decision to sign Andre Ayew, describing his involvement as modest but crucial in assessing the forward's readiness before the move was completed. Speaking in an interview, Asiedu-Dartey explained that although he was not directly involved in negotiations, the club's hierarchy sought his professional opinion once reports linking Ayew with a move to NAC Breda began to circulate.
Because of me, that's why Andrew was here. Of course, maybe I can say it's because of me, because he watched also my video where I played for NAC and the respect that they have for me. And he also thought, yeah, it's a good club. I played here, so they know some of the Ghanaians. So I did not. They asked me whether it's fit, because I saw also his videos, sometimes training with his dad, and some not old, but former Ghanaian players that he trained with his dad. So like Wakaso,
Kasim Adams,
So
a lot of boys.
I said, yeah, it's fit, but maybe it's not game fit.
And so that was Martin Asiedu-Dartey, who is the strikers coach at NAC Breda, speaking, bringing an end to Hot Edition here on 3FM 92.7. Join us same time tomorrow for more updates in the world of news.